This last quarter was crazy, from starting with 2 big drawdowns, burnout, doing a half a marathon, changing cities and more, which we are going to talk about in this video. There's a lot of lessons that I took, and the biggest one of them was about giving up. But in summary, I almost thought about quitting trading. I chickened out of an event that I was super keen on going for years and years. I did a half a marathon even though I was injured, and each of them has a lesson, so let's get into what each of them taught me. After getting into 2 drawdowns, I felt the pressure building up and I felt hopeless in a way, but this was not only because of trading, but it was also because of other things that were going on in my life. I never really thought about quitting trading, but one thing that I really saw was that creeping voice, that fucking bitch of a voice that is inside of your head, really started talking louder and louder. And it's not that I heard it, it's just that it affected me. And it's definitely a big psychological challenge that I'm still going through to this day. And I think that most traders, even the successful ones, are going through this challenge too. But once again, I grabbed myself by the nuts and I wanted to understand everything that I was going through. And it's been 3 years of me writing more than 6,000 times that I persist until I succeed, and I'm not going to deviate from that now. So I started putting an extra emphasis on analyzing myself, analyzing my traits, analyzing my psychology on a day-to-day basis. And one thing that I actually understood is that these losing streaks actually made me understand myself much better than any winning streak could have ever done. Do I like to be wrong more than I like being right? No. Do I like to sit on the sidelines? No. Do I like those big home runner trades or that consistent equity curve that is growing? Well, here most of the people would say that they really like the home runners, but the sacrifice that you have to make for the home runners made me understand that the answer to this question is that I like that smooth equity curve going up. Without big drawdowns, without big losing streaks, whatever, I just like being right more than I like being wrong. And I know that this is not the perfect mindset to have in the market because it's all a probabilities game, but what I understood from this is that I don't like a strategy that has a 20% strike rate. Even though it's profitable, even though it might give you that 10R once in a while, I don't like the idea of it just being once in a while. I like the idea of having maybe 60-70% strike rate where you are indeed more right than you are wrong. Are losing streaks still going to come? Yes, but that's normal. By understanding this, you can start to adapt your strategy in order to get to that strike rate, that risk to reward, that frequency of trades that you like. So my goal was have a high strike rate strategy, maybe by sacrificing a little bit of the risk to reward, but also maintaining the amount of trades that I take per week / per day on average. This came through understanding how I react to winners, how I react to losses, how I react to having a higher strike rate strategy versus having a lower strike rate strategy. And I understood that there was something missing in my strategy. And again, I'm not blaming the strategy, I'm blaming myself here. That's why I put the emphasis on my strategy, because even though any strategy that I might be trading might be profitable, it doesn't mean that I make it profitable for myself, because for you to make any other single strategy profitable for you, there are some psychological hurdles that you still have to go through. So for example, if you, like myself, like a higher strike rate, but you are trading a strategy that has a 10 to 20% strike rate, then you are not going to be profitable with it, because when the winner comes, you are not going to execute. And I actually went ahead and reviewed all the trades that I took, and I understood what the problem was. And there was the big breakthrough. I understood that if I want to make it long term, I want to increase my strike rate. That's it. I don't really care if I have to sacrifice on my risk reward. It's just the idea of having a higher strike rate resonates much better with me than others. And what does this show? It shows that whatever you are going through, if you're not getting the results that you want, you can't go on and blame someone else. You actually have to become introspective, blame yourself, and understand what the solution is. And when I say blame yourself, it's not hit your head against the wall. It's literally like, go over your trades, go over your ASR, go over your psychology, all these things, and understand what you can improve on, what you have to improve on in order to get the results that you want to have. So this is an example of becoming introspective, not giving up, understanding that you are the problem, and then moving on. But what's the opposite of it? Well, I actually announced publicly on not only some live streams but also on Twitter that I was going to do a surfing competition, something that I was really keen on doing and something that I really wanted to experience once in my life. But once I got there, it was like 7 a.m. There were some people already there. I needed to sign up and I saw a friend and I was like, oh, there goes my competition, whatever. And he was just like, oh no, man, like the people that are coming, we're going to get fucked. And that just completely messed with my head. Completely. What? Why would he say that? So I looked around and I saw that there were a number of people that, you know, imagine a surfer. The perfect picture of a surfer, like the type of guy that you would look at and be like, yeah, he's a surfer and he probably like surfs well. All of a sudden I look all around and it's all those type of people. And I'm like, fuck, what did I got myself into? I don't want to get smashed right from the get-go, because I know I'm not good, but I want to have fun. Am I going to have fun by being absolutely destroyed in the first round? And I was like, this is just a waste of money. And then I fucking left. I left without saying anything, without registering, without paying what I promised to pay, literally to the organization. And I thought I was protecting my ego by not getting destroyed in the first round, not understanding that it's even worse to say that you gave up. The fact that I had to tell everyone that I told that I was going to go on a surfing competition, that I didn't go because I chickened out and because I saw that everyone was better than me, it was much worse than telling people that it was a great experience, but that I just got completely fucked in the first round. I completely lost perspective there, and I did something so stupid of not sticking to my word. And then people come and ask, so how did it go? Yeah. How did it go, man? This is what it feels like, man. What do you want to answer when in 5 years someone asks, so how's trading going? And I can tell you right now that I still feel embarrassed to this day as I'm telling you this story. Okay, but that's the past. I don't think about it anymore. I just did for this video. But what about the opposite? What about coming on top? What about actually succeeding in an endeavor? And this is where this last story comes in. I never liked running. And I never ran more than 10 kilometers or like 6 miles. I think 6 miles is 10 kilometers. But I also knew that I needed a big challenge. I needed to challenge myself because there was too much complacency throughout the summer for myself. And I understood that I wanted a big challenge. And I got an email saying, oh, here you go. You have a 50% coupon code for a half a marathon. And I was like, you know what, dude? Fuck it. I'm going to do a half a marathon. Keeping in mind, this was 2 weeks out. I didn't have any new shoes. I never ran more than 10 kilometers and a half marathon is 21. Never ran more than 1 hour. But I was like, fuck it, man. Like, the mindset that I knew that I had to bring to this run was literally, don't stop. That's all I had to do. Don't stop, because I knew that my body could handle it. I knew that the only problem that might come up is mental. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to sign up. I did a total of 3 runs before doing the half a marathon. 2 of them were 8 kilometers and 1 of them was actually a half a marathon. I did like 21 kilometers just because I wanted to test that mindset of, you know what? I just don't stop. 2 days before, I noticed that I had an injured leg and I was like, fuck, is this really happening again? No, I have to go. No, I can't give up on this shit again. I told everyone I was going to do it. I told everyone what my time goal was. So I'm going to stick through this. I don't care. And I literally said this to myself. My body will give up before me. I will not give up even if my body gives up. And I ended up doing the half marathon, going through the last 5 kilometers of hell. In the first 5 kilometers, maybe thinking that my leg was going to give out. But yeah, I did it and I finished in the desired time, which was 1 hour and 45 minutes, which is like an average of 5 minutes per kilometer. And keeping the mindset of I'm not stopping. I persist until I succeed. I persist until I succeed. And one funny story is that this video that you're watching right now of me sprinting was because as I was approaching the finish line, there was a clock saying 1 hour, 44 minutes and 30 seconds. I thought I was almost like 1 hour 50. But once I saw that, I was like, holy shit. I literally said, holy shit. And I started sprinting. I was like, fucking hell, I'm going to do this under 1 hour and 45. And I did. I completely fucked up my leg. Like, I was 3 days that I barely could walk, but it was more than worth it. This is what not giving up and succeeding feels like. This is what I need to have in mind, and this is what you need to have in mind. And I hope you got this far to hear this story of not giving up too, because I know that this is the exact same thing that I will feel once I become successful in trading. It's the exact same shit as I felt once I finished a half a marathon, something that I never did before, something that I thought I was not able to do. And what did I do? Trained a little bit for it and just did not give up. I continued going. It's possible. People do it. People are successful traders. People run half a marathons. So why would you not be able to do it? So no matter what you're going through, perseverance is most probably going to be that finishing touch that will get you through that finish line. Because if you give up in the middle, you will never know what it is to finish something and succeed at it. Doesn't matter if you're talking about trading or any other endeavor in your life. But is it acceptable to give up? Of course it's acceptable to give up, and I think it would be foolish to think otherwise. There are simply things that one never has a statistical edge over. So for example, if you are trying to win the lottery, you know that you don't have a statistical edge. But if someone is wasting all their money in the lottery saying, I persist until I succeed, while they fill the lottery tickets, it's like, dude, you do not have a statistical edge. But if you're developing a skill that requires that perseverance, that hard work, that will then give you the statistical edge, this is the type of things that you have to stick through. Of course, now you might tell me, oh, okay, but I don't like running. Okay, then don't do a half a marathon. Okay, but I don't like trading. Okay, then don't trade. I don't think that you really need to do it. It's just that in any endeavor of your life, if it's realistic that you are able to achieve it, and the way you know if it's realistic is by, well, looking at the stats, looking if you are able to do it. You really need to be realistic with yourself, and only you are able to answer the type of questions that will let you know if you want to give up or if you want to keep going. So for example, do you like trading? Do you really want to become a consistently profitable trader? Do you think that you can scale up? Because if you do, well, then nothing comes overnight. And the reason why people think that everything comes overnight is the same reason why 95% of traders fail. So if you are able to stick through it, if you are able to persist until you succeed, then you can get into that top 5%. So keep that in mind. I hope these stories really helped with you understanding how I approach a lot of endeavors in my life, how I have given up, how I plan on not giving up on many different things. And if you're still here, then make sure to leave a comment with this emoji. It's the running emoji, of course. Understand that everyone fucks up, and that's just how life goes, and you are just a human like me. And I'll see you next week. Peace.